Is my job to just...
Hello there, and welcome to another beautiful day of, I guess, we could call it the Merc Day Hype Show, or Hype
Yeah,
Game, whatever you want to call it. We have with me someone that is, very dear to one of these teams. So
might be a
I'm
little
going to take,
biased.
I'm gonna be expecting the full inside scoop if you're that confident about beating the enemy team. But anyways, man, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to kind of add maybe a little bit of context to my top laners flame that they provided a little bit on the podcast earlier this week because I think it was 100% warranted what Lucifer was going off about, but sometimes you gotta also back that up with stats and anecdotes from someone maybe a little less prone to shit talking.
Fair enough, man. We have two teams that should be, I expected last night to be a bloodbath. Sadly, I was let down. Hopefully today, this can be the bloodbath that I wanted for this elo. We
Hmm.
have LF Amethyst versus Touching Grass, which kind of like an oxymoron if you think about it, because as a league player, normally you don't touch grass. So, but hey, I digress, man. I'm just here to talk about the teams.
I don't.
So tell me a little bit about touching grass, dude. Without
So
giving too much, of course.
touching grass is it's a roster kind of made up of a bunch of different people from around the scene, bringing it all together on Merc. I'm like 90% sure this is Hamilicar's one of their first stints in Merc, but they've been advertising. Oh no, they did TD uh, in the past, but it's a roster of a bunch of players I'm very happy to be coaching. They've been very fun to work with. They've been super receptive to any sort of feedback, and so it's just a bunch of kind of solo queue grinders and like friends ready to kind of try and contest in a league.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm super excited, especially with the mid laner Beeson. Beeson's all one first friend of mine, full disclosure, but just super excited to see him in another competitive setting because he's been very fun to play with in past leagues. And I think confidently I can say this. I'm fairly certain he's the best mid laner in IBSG right now. I've seen him go toe to toe with diamonds in other leagues, and so I'm excited to see what he can do in his rank.
Hmm. Interesting. Well, hey, fair enough, man. If only he had the grind to be able to play games,
Yeah,
he probably wouldn't be a mid
yeah,
tier then,
that's
huh?
it's hard to escape
It is.
gold.
Solo queue is horrible.
They've got their clutches deep and dug in for a lot of people. So that's why we're
Man.
here.
Yep, sadly. So normally we go over contested picks, but
Hmm.
on the side of Amethyst, 90% of this roster were previously ADCs. So, and their highest mastery is ADCs. Other than
Yeah.
like the top laner, which for the most part looks like, I believe that's top laner.
All
Yeah,
ducks.
yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
he plays jungle. So you have your work cut out for you tonight. I'll say that for sure. Um, Let me see if there's actually the only players that really have the chance for their role. I mean, you could see a couple with all ducks on me having like the volley, which can go top. The Malphite. Let's actually do a full dive into this dude right now. Let's see here. Yep. Nope. Zach. Zach. Which honestly, I feel like this next patch, or currently, Zach is a really good top laner. Um, he's just a beefcake. Like I stated yesterday in IBSG. I feel like a lot of the time the teams that do very well are just like wombo front to back, easy to execute. Because this elo is very bloody, and I will always stand by that, no matter what. So we do
Zach
see. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Zach
No,
is
you're good.
an interesting thing to see kind of transitioning from jungle to top lane because yes, he's like deceptively easy. There's not a whole lot going on as the Zach player, but when you're playing in Zach, there is that whole blob minigame that you have to play, and if you're not ready to play that, especially in team fights, he's such a menace. He's so tanky, he has so much HP to work with, and the sustain even through Grievous Wounds is just hard to deal with. You have to burst this champion that feels unburstable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually really excited to see, show what our response is because it's pretty obvious what our response is going to be to deal with that because Zach
Yeah.
Top is just something that is very worthy of the ban. Um,
Hmm.
and if you're a really good Zach Top player, which Duck seems to look really good on the champion, um, I think it's a good respect ban.
That's fair enough. And then we do have the ADC for Amethyst, which also has been spamming a lot of Yonora, however you pronounce her name. So, me personally, being an ADC main, a lot of time whenever I play Yonora, have found that I believe it's two champions that do really well to her. One being Trist, and the
Mhm.
other being Sivir. So, knowing Hamilcar, I'm pretty sure he plays at least one of those champs.
Yeah, it
So,
does.
I mean that that could be a good pick into it, unless you're just gonna let it through. Um,
Inara's an interesting case where she doesn't have a whole lot going on aside from the auto attacks. Like the Q is just the empowered auto, and everything is just about empowering the AD carry. Very similar to Vayne, right? Vayne
mhm,
doesn't have anything else going on aside from the auto attacks and condemn. Everything else exists to empower that. Yanara is very similar to Vayne in that sense, but unlike Vayne, Yanara can consistently fight. I think we saw on the stream last night, the level one in game two, where the Yanara just absolutely steamrolled after that Q passive stacked up.
mhm.
So she's a very fun champion to play and deal with, but man, when it gets out of control, it's so hard to deal with. There's so much happening from her, and she has so much self peel. So I like that you called out like the Tristan on the Sivir, either just out wave clear the champion because Yanara wave clear is great, but she kind of loses to Sivir on the wave clear front, or just kill it with the Tristana. Um,
Mhm.
but Yunara also sink swim. If you get under the water, if you get behind a little bit on the champion, it's hard to find a way back in because this is like a big confidence champion. You have to be confident in your auto attacks. You have to be confident in your spacing. And if you have like a shred of doubt on that champion, it's so easy to just burst open the game against a Yunara.
Yeah, it is very difficult. I'm going to swap focus to this ADC, this support here. So, of course, I guess it was a ADC that swapped to support. I don't know, man. This team is all over the place. But if looking at this OP, there's no like constants, right? Like there's maybe a couple games of this, that, or the other, but like no constant champions that I'm seeing. So,
It's
uh,
the supports from
yeah.
this is Yes Paradise. Yes to Paradise seems to have
Mhm,
like they've cycled enough of the supports. They've got a really high mastery on Bard and Thresh, and those are
mhm,
really like constant staples in the support role. Maybe not Thresh so much. It's like the first time he's been properly out of the meta.
mhm,
No one's picking him. No one's even really forcing him, other than the support saying, "I want to play Thresh and nothing else," like gun to the coach's head. Um, but Bard, on the other hand, Bard is like a massive game-setting champion, and I think that will be a challenge for any team facing up against Amethyst. Of you're dealing with an 80 carry player playing Bard, which means that they have some fundamental knowledge of spacing and trading with auto attacks. And if they can put themselves in the spot to successfully do that, Bard has so much damage level one, two, and three. And if you can just win enough, get a good crash on wave three, get some good deep vision to spot the jungle at a bad time, all of a
mhm.
sudden the Bard's got tier ones and that man's top lane. It's over already. He can have so much impact on the map. So
Oh
I
yeah.
always like seeing 80 carry players pick that champion up um, because it has so much leeway with roaming, and roaming's really strong down here. You mentioned the bloodbaths, you mentioned just kind of fighting over every little inch of space on the map, and Bard can do that so well. Everything's on a fairly short cooldown. The stuns are, while conditional, very strong when they land, and the electrocute Bard is like has illegal amounts of damage.
Yes, I agree. I personally don't see Bard much in Plat Elo. And but then again, it is, if it's comfort, then a lot of time that does trump meta in this Elo. We will swap focuses to the jungle here for Amethyst, which I believe is the Great Bigsby.
Listed.
Yeah, listed and not
However,
for
I
sure.
heard that they were supposed to be the 80 carry player because they got the 300 games on Sivir on their own time, which I respect. I respect the hustle. Um,
That's yeah, that's disgusting. You will barely catch me dead playing Xiver. I hate that champ with a
you'll,
passion,
you'll
but
barely
hey,
catch me dead playing 300 games of the same champion.
yeah, no,
It's
true.
so hard.
That's dedication. That is dedication. Um,
100%.
but just for this, we'll just say their jungle. In terms of jungle, looks like more of a carry player. You do have stuff like the volley, which I believe
He flexes well.
could be a contested pick. If I
Um,
think, if I'm
ye-
thinking correctly, yeah,
half. It'll half be a contested pick. If you dig through Unreportable B's account a little more, you'll see kind of some different contested picks coming up, especially being the Trundle Maokai. That's definitely
hmm
going to be something in the series that both teams really are going to be playing around. Maokai, yes, Riot has absolutely pro jailed that champion into
hmm
Infinity and Beyond, and he's still so good in jungle. The ult is just hard to deal with. It's a really good counter to the Trundle as well, so that might be just a trade that happens early on in the series,
hmm
but it's not fearless, so it might just be the trade throughout the series too.
yeah,
But otherwise, stuff like the Sejuani might be contested, but Unreportable B is much more specced into the carry role,
yeah,
and kind of being the more like flex jungler. Usually, you think of junglers as like there's carry, tank, and then kind of the in between junglers.
hmm
And to me, Unreportable is a like flex player more than a carry player, but I see Bigsby as much more also a flex player, just different champ pools.
yeah,
So I'm excited to see kind of what Amethyst brings out because they've got a pretty long uphill battle. No one seems spec'd hard into engaged champions. That also kind of comes back to Yes Paradise. Jungle support's really important. And Yes Paradise has games on engage, but if you don't play engage, if you don't live the engage and kind of understand and get the instinct for fighting, when to
hmm
fight, when to trade, when to skirmish, um, Bloodbath can just turn on your head in an instant. And I see both these teams playing very kind of pendulum comps where everything can go well, and oh my god, my AD carry canceled one auto attack, and now the game's just doomed.
yeah. And looking back at it, I stand corrected. Not maybe not more of a contested pick, but more like a flex pick.
Mhm.
Because All Ducks on Me does play the volley, which
Yep.
can be a top laner. So that could potentially go either top or jungle. I guess we'll have to see. Who am I missing? Went over. I think we pretty much.
We talked about
No,
Amethyst.
yeah. Let's go to your team.
Yeah. I'm done to talk. I'm not gonna give too much information,
No,
but I think
of
it's
course,
always
of
fun
course not.
to I think it's a great opportunity here for everyone involved for like to get kind of what I'm thinking and what I'm seeing. I'm not a figure of authority. I'm not very important, but I'm still in the coaching spot and I still help the guys with
Yeah,
help from the other coach Sparter. He's the main coach. But
yeah,
kind of running down the list, starting with Lucifer. Lucifer was the guy that hopped on the podcast last week and was saying we're gonna stop everybody, and I stand by that 100%. I think he's a very good top laner when the going's good. So a big thing that I see from a lot of top laners, and Lucifer concluded, I saw that from both the guys last night. It's just they fight. Top laners, you get bored, kind of sit up in the lane, just farming. Everything's going well, and you hear that level 3, and there's a bell, and it dings. They got to add that on the map, and there's a bell that dings, and it's time to fight. And Lucifer plays those champions 100%, and so you get empowered to fight, and he's really good at it. When he's on fire, they'll run maps easily. So I'm excited to see the specifically the top matchup because I think it's going to be the most important matchup in this game. Is top lane because you're all ducks on me. Yes, higher in rank, actually like 300 LP higher. Um,
hmm
so is very much would be considered on paper the better player. I don't think their champ pool works into Lucifer. I like what Lucifer's got. They've got the Yone. You can see that on the OPGG. They've got the Mundo. They've got Cassante. They're really good at Cassante. Um, so that is kind of where I'm looking at. Um, but at the same time, they've got tanks in the belt. They can make it work. And in tank v tank, I favor Lucifer just because of my own personal experience with them.
That's completely valid. Yeah, I mean, looking at both these OPs, right, you would suggest or think, if any indicator from last night, that technically the higher rank should win. But at the end of the day, it is IBSG and anything can theoretically happen. So, uh, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you want to move on to jungle and just kind of go down
Yeah, we
the
can.
list, it's
We'll
completely up to you.
revisit that for a second because I think I covered a lot of what I wanted to say when we talked about Amethyst with both the guys. Right, both see them as flex players.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but dude, be so bleed or unreportable, so fucking consistent when they're when it's a very kind of shared thing with a lot of IBSG teams is when the going's good, everything just works. Everyone kind of has a great understanding because we're all here. We're all playing competitive, regardless of like the
Mm-hmm.
size of the league or how serious people are taking it. We're all playing competitive, so we are caring about the game just a little more than your average solo queue player. And Unreportable is one of those players that I view in that light where he is here and ready and wants to learn and wants to improve and wants to play. And so it's just about kind of getting into that mindset. And once he's in that mindset, once he's ready to compete and believes that like everyone is trying their hardest, this guy's on fire. And I'm super happy that he's on the team because he's been very, very fun to work with Jungle. And as a teammate, I think he's a really, really good teammate too. Um, but guys, guys, clean on Viego. He's got a
Yeah.
clean Viego, man.
Oh,
Ban it,
yeah.
or you get to deal with the heartbreaker. Have fun.
I will say though that just like not too deep diving into him, he does have some good win rates on jungles like the fiddle, which if you can pull off fiddle in this elo, I mean, if you think about it, right, fiddle's typically hard because you have to draft like one or two more follow up with him because
Yeah.
you can't just have a frontline fiddle, but it does fall under that category of push R, easy to execute, get
Mhm.
in there and kill. But yeah, no, he has some very good win rates on a couple of these jungles.
There's a
So,
an elephant in the room.
oh
You
yeah.
you see that you talked about win rates, that 83% Nocturne, He's really good at Nocturne too. I love his Nocturne. Please no ban it. Be awesome to work with it in draft. I can't draft because I'm on cast. But the boys,
Mm.
I trust what they're gonna do, and I'm gonna sit there and tear it to shreds when it doesn't work. So that's a very exciting dynamic I get to have there. But yeah, the fiddle's awesome. I love seeing it in these leagues because I know a lot of people talk about like, yes, he's a hard champion to play um, at the start, but once you get that instinct as the fiddle player, all it comes down to is just telling other players, hey, wait for me to engage, let me play the vision game. And if you're a jungler who's really good at the vision game as fiddlesticks, you'll go so far. You get to learn about map movements, you get to learn about good ward timers. And if you as a jungler have those good ward timers, you can empower your support to have those good ward timers. And all of a sudden, you've got Shaq and Kobe in the jungle. Everything is lit up. Everyone is ready to fight. And that fiddle R cooldown's really short after rank 2. So you can really do some damage with it.
Yeah. I've seen Beeson around before. I forget where. I mean, I've been in comp for a while. So I don't know where else they could have been, but I remember them being pretty good from what my memory serves. I'm getting older, so memory's starting to fade a slight bit, but for the most part, we still have it. But now Beeson,
Beason's my goat.
yeah.
B is my goat. Totally unbiased. Not been friends with him for like a year and a half now. But um, I mean, he's just a really good player. He's on kind of like a weird schedule IRL.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets to watch LCK all the time, and so he's super big into watching LCK, and it's more of ability to execute with him, not ability to understand, which is very fun to work with. I've had the pleasure of working with him in the past in the AD carry role as well, and he's a really good AD carry, and so having both him and Himilakar, two kind of people who love grinding solo queue and talking about AD carry together in the same team, they a whole side of my map understands each other's lanes really well because Himilikar's just been playing competitive for a while. Um, and so that's really awesome to work with. On top of that, Beeson's just really fucking good at everything he picks up. Everything that you see on that list, you look at that champ list, there's two champions with a gray win rate on there. And he's really good at those champions. He just has to flip games at times.
Yeah,
That's the
sounds like IBSG.
yeah, I know it's what a lot of people kind of end up at, especially like in the solo lane role where if you're just really good at hands and you hands check everyone at like level 3, level 4, um you'll get really high win rates in this rank cap, but you'll kind of start getting punished once you kind of hit like P2, P1.
Hmm.
At that point, people start seeing you like vibrating to fight at level 3, and they'll just kind of take 2 steps back and let you vibrate on your own. Um, but B's able to punish that too, so I'm really happy that I have a player that goes both ways.
Heck yeah. Now I guess we'll talk about the guy himself.
Hmm.
Good old Hamilcar,
My captain,
which I've
Ca-
I've kind of known for a little bit, not like full on known, but I've seen him around quite a bit. So, but he is a Jinx merchant, huh?
yeah, he's a Jinx merchant. We love giving him his Jinx everywhere. And I mean, to be frank, I don't think any team's expecting us to let us to have that Jinx, but we're definitely gonna fight tooth and nail to get it in every sort of game. But if he gets it, that's my goat. Another goat, 100%. But like genuinely, I got to cast another league with him where it was like P4, P3 average, and that
Mm.
guy on Jinx looked well at home. He looked completely comfortable. So it's a problem. You gotta get rid of that tip to play against touching grass. Ban Jinx, but we're gonna make you ban Jinx. Um, otherwise, we get it. But he's really good at everything else too. He's really good at the ranged champions. In general, he has a couple kind of more interesting pocket picks in the role that you don't see as often in solo queue. Usually, you think like your solo queue laners, your Jhin, your Caitlyn, your Jinx, your Sivir, and like Ezreal. And I'm trying to remember the last one that I see a lot. Kaisa. He's got those champions, but he's got other stuff in the champ pool, so he can't get iced out like most other one tricks, which is
Hmm.
awesome because then we just have this like big chandelier ready to fall over us. Um, and all the Phantom of the Opera has to do is just not press the button, and that means you got to ban it.
That's fair. I do see something that sticks out to me, which is a champ that at one point was extremely strong, but honestly, I don't feel she's that strong. I could be wrong. Is Senna?
Yeah,
71% win rate with 14 games, the 3.8 KD, which is honestly really good,
yeah, it's
right?
a polarizing
But
pick.
yeah, I mean, I feel like it can be. Me personally, I don't. I'm just a meta slave. I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
So,
I mean, she's still in the meta. That's the thing. It's a higher level of execution compared to other AD carries because you have
mhm,
more jobs to do as Senna. You not only are the AD carry, but you're also like a secondary support, and that means that you have to do secondary support stuff. You have to position like a secondary support and not like an AD carry. And if you're unable to do that, it's very very hard. So I can see where a lot of people don't like Senna and think she's really weak because of, oh well, the Senna in my game went 0-8 in late, and it's like, yeah, because it's a Senna. You're weak early game. You have to accept that you're weak early game in AD carry. In
mhm,
support, I think she has a lot of damage, but that's because supports are just expected to do less damage. They're expected to do less, just be the other body. So she
yeah,
can get away with that. And I think she's really strong in support. I think she's a lot stronger in support than AD carry. But I like AD carry a lot, especially into high tank teams where Senna can just free auto, free stack the cleaver, can't get touched easily, and all of a sudden you're dealing with just this artillery mage of a AD carry that also has healing, that also has self peel, that also has Dawning Shadow, one of the best ultimates in the game.
fair. Yeah, no, I mean the thing I like about Senna, right, is like all you theoretically need to do is just draft something that can go in. there you have easy queue access. So that's
Mhm.
Senna's. I could see Senna being really good. Still, it's just I can't play her anymore. I just I'd
It's
prefer
fine.
other picks, honestly. Um,
I also do.
yeah, no, for sure. But actually looking at his op.gg there, I thought I played a lot of Jinx.
Hmm.
Holy hell, Amakar. I
I
thought
think
I
he,
played.
I swear he hears Jinx voice lines in his sleep.
Uh, yeah, that'd make perfect sense.
It's
There is
it's a lot.
something that I would like to see played in this elo a lot more. Even I honestly I feel like it's super underrated, and that's Jin.
Hmm.
I feel like Jin is
I love Gen comps.
extremely strong, but I don't really see too many ADCs that have games on it, which kind of saddens me. But I mean,
Another
what can you do?
another champion I think exists in that same spot because a lot of people, Jin is really good at those like you pick the four like not to be mean about it, but like you pick the four monkey dive champions, just fight, run at them, and
Hmm.
figure out what's happening after they're all dead. And Jin's really good at enabling that because you have the range, you have the W root, you have curtain call. But a champion that I think that can do the same is Ziggs. Another
Yeah.
a team that I love following is Cupid Esports. They're a kind of tier 3 team,
Yeah.
but they played a big comp in NACLQ with Panth Ziggs, and that's unironically one of my favorite kind of ADC jungle duos. You could also play it support, but Panth support's kind of iffy nowadays.
Hmm.
Um, but it does the same thing that like Ori Nocturne or like Jarvan Ori does, where you just have this like very point and click, easy to use engage. And then you got Curry from three with the Ziggs ult, and that's just so much burst, so high range that as long as Ziggs gets that ultimate off on two people, regardless if it's in the center or not, it's really strong. I think any team should pick this up. It makes you super flexible because now you have an AP damage bot laner. Because there's a ton of mid laners. You look at all the mid laners in IBSG, and you'll see a Yone, you'll see pretty much any other AD champion. Someone picks one. Zed is very popular as well, and mid laners want to play these champions because they play them in solo queue, and they're pretty
Hmm.
good at it too. It's just you need to have that damage signature, and usually you don't want to solo AP something like Gwen top or Lilia jungle, and so in that way, I like AP bot laners. I'm a big rat. I love ratting. I love being weird with drafts, and that means that I'm a big fan of AP bot laners. So uh, I'm sorry to all AD carries that have to deal with mages in bot lane, but man, they're really good. They're so
Yep.
good.
Yep. Mel being one of those big
Yeah,
ones.
dude, I hate playing against Mel, but I love drafting it.
Yeah, it
It's
is
so
really
frustrating.
annoying. But yeah, no, going back to Ziggs just a little bit is my personal favorite, jungle wise would have to be Jarvan.
Mhm.
I mean, because it's just so free. You get like three or four people in Jarvan ult, and it's just that's just easy Ziggs ult. But no, I'm very excited for this game. We can move on to the good old Rubik's McCubics.
Yeah.
I love that name. I
Hmm.
like that name a lot.
Rubik's is fun. They've been very receptive to feedback. I'm main support. I've done a lot of support and bot lane coaching, so Rubik's has been awesome to work with. They've been pretty receptive to feedback, which is always awesome because some people will be like very stuck in their ways when they've been playing for a long time. Rubik's has been playing since season 5, and usually when you find people like that, um, they're pretty set. They've
Hmm.
been in their rank for a while, and they might stay in their rank for a while. But even if they stay in the rank, they can still get feedback. They can still get kind of told, "Hey, man, you're looking for step 2, step 3. Here's that. Let's see what happens." They execute on it, and it's awesome to see. And Rubik's has been great for that. They're very flexible with their champion pool. They're a very big like pick me anything. They've been playing for so long that um, support is a role where kind of no matter what competitive league you join, I kind of expect you to be able to play like 3/4 of the roster.
Yeah.
Just because they're so simple now, like specialize in one, pick enchanters or pick engage, just specialize in it. Um, and Rubik's did pick, and Rubik's is really good at the enchanters, and those are very hard to deal with. That puts a lot of onus on the enemy support to pick something like the Rel, like the Leona, and play with like this big timer looming over them of, hey, it's like Leona, hey, at level 6, if you don't get to level 6 first and you're playing it to Lulu, you have to deal with ult. You have to deal with wild growth. And it's like, well, they just have 300 more HP than you now. How are you gonna deal with that? Um, so I really like playing. I like having supports that know enchanters, um, and Rubik's is great at them. Him and Hamilcar have really worked well together in bot lane, and I think they are a top bot lane. When I look across the board, I see them do things that I don't see anyone else do, and I can see them having a much higher ceiling than IBSG alone. So excited to kind of let them kind of elevate to that and then show here at Merc Academy what that looks like. But of course, that takes time and it's only week one.
Yep, fair enough. Now there is one game, and I know this is kind of off topic a little bit, but I will say that GCCE, their bot lane really surprised me last night.
Hmm.
So if you're giving up all this hype about Hemikar and Rubik's, that should be a good game, but that's not
That's next week.
today. Oh, it is next week. Oh,
That's
let's
next week,
go.
Saturday.
Let's
That's a big fun game. I had a lot of fun watching GCC yesterday.
Yeah,
They're
they were extremely good.
Yeah, I know you mentioned like, oh, it's not like the bloodbath of level 4. It was still pretty bloody. They had a
Yeah,
lot
it
of good
was.
fights, and they are. I mean, they're a cool team to watch because they have that like ability to go the tanks mid and play this like super tank comp. Yes, it's kind of boring. Yes, it takes 40 minutes to get online, but you know they're going to be online. You know a Scion is just going to eventually be a problem in the side lane. You know eventually. The 80 carries are going to scale because that's just what happens. And or Iki is the 80 carry was just really fun to watch. So I'm excited to see that bot lane. I wish it would have been a little later in the season because that just means that we've got a lot of work to do in a very short amount of time. But I think
Mhm.
that I think that we can dust them. I think that they have a lot of holes in their play. I think they have a lot of um, kind of issues that are a lot harder to solve than a week provides, and I don't think we have those on touching grass. So I'm excited to exploit them.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Now
But
here
tonight,
comes the fun part. Biased
mm,
aside,
yeah,
how does the score go?
it's
Or
2-0, baby.
what's 2-0?
It's 2-0. Everyone was a. I mean, half of me is saying 2-0 just because of earlier predictions where everyone was like, "Oh, Amethyst 2-0." So that's kind of feeling it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at the same time, I watch and I look at what Amethyst has, and I dig through a couple of the players, and I watch some of their games, and I watch the touching grass guys, and I'm just confident. Touching grass has options at all points in the game. They always um, feel like they can do something, and the best way to kind of get ahead in this elo is just having a plan going into game. And touching grass always has a plan. They have a rule set that they follow. They have good discussions during game and out of game about what they're supposed to do. And when I see a team do that, I don't care that I don't have the other comms. Maybe they're doing that too, but I got to put faith in my guys at the same time as I think they just are going to hand check them. I agree with what Lucifer said. They're just going to stomp.
I mean, hey, if you have that much confidence to come on a podcast and just talk smack, I mean, hey, that's having the ego, which is good, right? But you have to see if you're able to back it up.
Hmm.
That's always the bad thing, or always it's I think it's like a double edged sword because you go in and talk your crap, and then all of a sudden you lose a game. Then you look slightly goofy. But I mean, hey, we're technically at the bottom of the barrel if you think about it.
I
But
mean, just because we're at the
technically,
bottom doesn't mean we can't have a little fun. Doesn't mean that
no,
we
no,
have
no,
to.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah, we have to. I mean, we have to make our own fun, and coming in, being confident, being a little cocky, being having the egos is always great. And
Hmm.
I just yeah, I feel like in my position where like Lucifer talks smack and it's like, yeah, you're on the field, you can do that, but I think it's
Hmm.
another thing to hear it from me as the coach where I just have to sit back and just watch everything, and I'm still confident. And so that should tell y'all the viewers as well as the people who said 2-0 Amethyst, you done messed up. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear at all. So um,
It's
but
all
you
good.
know what I meant.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
done
yeah.
messed up. We're here. We're gonna stomp. You guys have caused a problem.
Yep. So last night I did mess up my gut feeling because originally I had Mojo Jojo going 2-1, and I was just completely
Yeah.
swept out of the water. So, hearing you talk about the team, since you have a in-depth analysis on this team because you're with this team quite a bit. I'll trust my gut. I'm gonna say that they're also gonna 2-0 touching
Let's
grass.
go.
So I will change my predictions now. If it comes back to bite me in the butt again, I will never swap up again. Never. I'm done. I'm trusting my
I'm
gut. So
gonna
you don't let me down, please.
if they 2-1, I will say this. Someone send this to me. If they want me to be good on my word, but I will be good on my word regardless. If they don't 2-0, I will make a public apology for hyping this team up too much, and I'll eat some grass. I guess I don't know. I'll
Yo,
do something stupid like that. There's grass outside my window. There's not a lot. I'm stuck in the damn concrete jungle as well, but like, yeah, I'll eat some
clip
grass
it,
or something stupid like that. Yeah, clip it, clip it.
clip it, and
I'll
ship
do
it,
it on
chat.
camera. I'll do it on camera on next Saturday or Sunday whenever I'm on the podcast again. I'll turn on my webcam and eat some grass if they don't 2-0 tonight.
There you go. Well, man, yeah, I guess that about covers it. If you have any like closing remarks or anything, you can say those now or
No, thank you for having me here and also letting me kind of show up and cast as well on the Sundays. I'm part of Platypus, which is your guys' Sunday crew, and so I'm excited to do a season with y'all. I brought in a friend of mine as well to cast, and so we're excited to kind of grow here as two commentators as well as kind of just exist in the Merc system. You guys have a great thing going on.
heck yeah. Well, with that being said, we appreciate all you guys coming out. We really appreciate you, taking time out of your day to talk about more like an in-depth on touching grass. It's always interesting to hear a coach's perspective on a team that they coach, right? Because it's like a lot of people from the outside looking in don't really get this kind of insight. So it's very refreshing. But anyways, with that being said, guys, make sure you tune in tonight. Is it 8? Is it 8 p.m. EST or what time is it?
Yeah, it's 8 p.m. EST. You'll hear me and EOD Fell. Uh, Lovely casters yelling into the box and me probably eating some grass. We'll figure it out. Hopefully, I don't want to. I really don't want to. But if they have to, whatever my team needs to,
I mean,
not int.
I mean, at least eating grass isn't technically bad for you. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it,
That's not that bad.
but
Better than if I was like coaching Amethyst and I said the same thing. Like, yeah, but eat rocks. Thank
eh,
God it's not rocks.
mm,
Thank God it's grass.
yeah, no, you definitely wouldn't have teeth. But anyways, man, all you guys take it easy. Make sure you tune in tonight for a hopefully a banger of a game. And anyways, that guess that's pretty much it. Y'all take care. Peace.
Peace.